Immortalizing someone in bronze can be tricky. We've seen where the finished product doesn't always look like the person. That is not the case here, and we learn the reason why. A snapshot in time, delicately captured in the faces and through the eyes of those who were there at this very corner 67 years ago.
It is probably the most important project that the studio has ever completed.
Which is really saying something when you consider New York-based architect Elliot Schwartz and his team cast our founding fathers in bronze. In Oklahoma City, it wasn't the birth of a nation, but the birth of a movement.
There were a few photographs that were made in 1958 at the Katz Drug Store.
Though through these few photos, the team set out to get the whole picture.
There was one photo of the lunch counter. It was taken from above. I believe there might have been an area in Katz's where you could look down on the lunch counter, but that did not show us any of the standing figures, so we had to fill in the gaps.
Teacher Clara Luper and the 13 members of the NAACP Youth Council who participated in the peaceful 3-day equal rights sit-in would be portrayed with real people in a photo shoot. Each person with clothes and hairstyle from the late 50s, all gathered round a built-to-scale lunch counter.
When you see some of the students seated at the lunch counter, the nuanced pose is something that we work very, very hard at.
We might have kind of a vibe or an idea what we want to do, but we need to make actually poses that we can sculpt from. And that becomes the basis, the Bible, from what we're working with in the studio.
B.J. Ervick was one of those who went from artist to detective.
So we have, maybe yearbook photos of somebody who is 3 years older at the time that we have to make them look like they're 12 years old instead of 16 years old. So there's a very big challenge for the sculptors to be able to get that likeness from maybe a small passport photo, grainy picture from the 1950s that, we can now extrapolate and make a life-looking figure looking back at you.
Then comes a creation in clay and a reveal in a project that had quite a few.
You do have some that say, well, that was me. That looks just like me as that. And there's others that are like, well, maybe you can open my eyes a little bit, or, I remember my hairline being a little like this. And these are things that we take back to the sculptor who's working on the portrait to do these adjustments.
The sculpted work.
This is, you can see the detail and all of the tooling and the portraits and the clay.
Is remade as a silicone mold and eventually a ceramic shell filled with wax before the bronze is poured inside. And if anything is off with any of the many pieces, it's back to square one.
But we went back to the drawing boards and were able to resculpt. These guys resculpted and got us back to a place where we were able to recast Clara's head and reattach it. So there was a round 2 on Clara to get her exactly perfect.
The monument includes other touches from Katz, a cake on the counter, the cups and dishes behind it, and even the snow crop machine used to make desserts.
I was able to locate an old snow crop machine on eBay.
The look of these heart-shaped buttons on the back of this dress came from the person wearing it at Katz as a 10-year-old, Marilyn Luper, Clara's daughter.
Feel good on the inside. I can't tell you how I feel, really.
Well, Marilyn remembers everything. And she is a force of nature.
Marilyn's been instrumental in the design from the start.
And I just wish that my mother could have lived to see this thing, because she would be so happy.
Including keeping one empty spot at the counter where visitors can sit. A reminder that to spark real change, you don't need to be larger than life. In downtown OKC, Carl Torp, Oklahoma's own News 9.